Hi everyone, it's Kate from The Fold Line. I am back this week with the edit. This is our roundup of new sewing pattern releases. Sorry, I don't know why I started almost singing to you, did not need to hear that. How is everyone? Have you had a nice week? I've got some nice patterns this week. I've got a new designer as well, so I'm going to get cracking. So the first pattern, this is a bit of an apology because this should have been, this sort of slipped through the net a little bit, and it's a really great pattern. I forgot to mention it a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And yeah, so it's here now. The So Liberated chanterelle pants and shorts. I'm sure many of you have now seen it because it was a couple of weeks ago that it came out. How good are these guys? I mean, So Liberated, I just love their patterns. Like every time they come out, I'm like, oh yes, I didn't know I needed that, but I definitely need that in my life. They're just so good. Right, let's get into it. So pattern, getting distracted. PDF only at this moment. They probably will come in paper, but there will be a few months delay. So if you do really like them, now's the time with PDF. In terms of sizing, they come in a UK 6 to 34. As usual, they've done quite a few different variations of these, which I really like. So it's elasticated waist. It's got quite big curved, you can see pockets on the front. Then the interesting thing is the leg detail. So they've got one which is slightly cocoon shaped, so it pinches back in, but there's actual little like pleat in the bottom of the trouser, which you can see. There's a wide leg variation, and there's a short variation. So I don't know what it is. They always, So Liberated, put them on enough different models so you really get an idea of what you're getting. Lots of different shapes. It just makes it so much easier when you're looking to sort of understand how this was going to look on oneself, which is what you're always looking. I just really like the shape. I love that pinch detail in the hem, and the shorts are really lovely as well. I know we're kind of moving away from summer now, but I just think they're lovely. So that one, apologies. New designer on the site, Silver Saga Patterns. They are a small indie company. There are 4 patterns at present, and I would say the feeling for them is sort of ethereal, quite romantic, a bit of a vintage nod to them all. I think the pattern company was started, she loves vintage and collects a lot of vintage clothing. The patterns have all got really interesting details on them. So I'm going to talk about my favourite one first. So this is the Clara Dress. They are PDF only. They come in sizes UK 6 to 22. Let's have a look at the line drawing so we can see what is going on in this beautiful dress. So it's got this lovely deep V, not too deep, the kind of perfect proportion of V. It's got a kind of a channel sewn around the neckline with a which you put gathering through and tie at the neckline, which I think is a really nice detail. There are curved seams underneath the bust. There are 2 different sleeve options for this, so you can either go full length, big dramatic, you know, full on sleeve, or you can go for a shorter. I mean, it's still quite a dramatic sleeve, but not as dramatic. The dress is lovely and flared. So that, to me, that shape underneath the bust and the flaring is the real vintage kind of nod. Next up, we have got the Cora top. I love this if you haven't seen it before. So let's have a look at the line drawing. It's actually a very simple make. So you can see that the top's in 2 parts. There are the 2 bust panels, and you can either, basically you can make the whole top look totally different depending on how you string the string through the channels. So you can either have it so it twists and turns around your neck, so you get a crossover around the front. You can have it without the crossover, but you can also have it so that there's nothing there, it's pulled tight and tied, which makes it just look like a round neck. There's actually a really clever kind of way to make something quite simple to construct look totally different. It's really lovely. I think it's something that would look really nice for going out top, a kind of quite a versatile piece, look great tucked into jeans. I think it's really sweet. So if you haven't come across that and you're looking for something sort of like a bit special, this is definitely worth going to have a look at. And then finally, there's one more, but I'm just going to talk about the Clara Dress because I think it's really fab. So it's very simple, and this shape pattern quite a lot of people request, and there aren't actually that many options. So it's a sort of pedant style top, so it's got elastic going all the way around here. You can either wear it off the shoulder or just on the shoulder. Elasticated kind of at the waist, with kind of two lines of, you can see sort of two lines of stitching, which is really interesting, and then another line of elastic kind of part way up the sleeve, so it creates this kind of fluted, kind of flared cuff. As I was saying, it's quite romantic, this dress. It just feels really great. So if you haven't seen them, go and have a look. So next up, we've got a really nice simple coat. If you're thinking that you want to make something a little bit warmer, the Avid Seamstress Whimborne Coat is definitely worth going and having a look at. So it comes in sizes UK 6 to 28. It's PDF and paper, this one, so you can get both. And it's really nice, sort of simple cocoon shape, no fastenings, really good for beginner, this sort of coat. You can make it in a boiled wool because it's not lined, and then you don't even need to have to kind of worry about anything fraying on the inside. It has inseam pockets, and then this really nice big sort of chunky band that goes around the neckline. I will say, I should have said this right at the start, this pattern was available in Talco magazine issue 5. So if you own Talco issue 5, do not buy this because you've already got the pattern. So they've now released it as their own pattern. But yeah, a really great simple coat pattern, and we are moving to warmer times, colder times, so it's time to start thinking about that. So last but not least, we have got a drop of patterns from So Different. These are really great, a full collection of them. They're paper patterns, sizes UK 6 to 28, loads of dresses. So if you love a dress, and these ones are definitely worth having a look at. Really nice styles, the photography is really good on them. There's a really gorgeous like duster jacket, which I think would make a really nice layering piece. I love how they've styled that over jeans. The Mahal dress was one that really caught my eye. I think it's quite clever in its construction. So you can see that it's like a square neckline, and it's got these really interesting seam details that kind of go from the corner of the neckline down to the top of your waistband. So in terms of, you don't need a bust dart, obviously. Then it's got this inset little panel with ruching kind of that goes from the sort of, I guess, the side of your tummy all the way around your back. Really clever because it creates a bit of an optical illusion. So the front panel at the front, which is cut straight, will kind of skim over if there's any tummy there. And then you do actually have the breeziness of the gathering as well. So I think it's really clever. I love the sleeve on this as well. It's a really nice shape, and it's calling out, as they've done it, to colour block it, change different fabrics, I think kind of have clashing fabrics. There's also the Arla pleat dress, which I think is really interesting. So it's quite a simple sort of shift dress, but you can see it's got these dramatic pleats either side of, just kind of underneath your bust. So it adds shaping into the waist, but not too much, and it's got them also going around the back. So it's quite sort of sculptural, which I really like. But there's some really interesting patterns there. So if you haven't seen the new collection yet, definitely go and have a look, because there's some really lovely ones there. So that is it from me this week. I hope you've had a good week, feeling ready to get on with a bit of sewing. I feel like now we're like tail end of September. That is when everyone is like cracking on with some sewing projects because everyone's got a bit more time. So I will see you very, very soon. Bye.